Alright, this is the Canon FD 50mm 1.8 lens. It was first created in 1966, March of 1966. And this is a special lens to me because that's the year I was born, September 1966. And this lens weighs about a pound. And I haven't shot with it yet, but it looks like it's in pristine condition. I have it with a matching body, the Canon FT-QL, also made in 1966. Of course, I don't shoot with film, so I wouldn't be able to know how good the quality is yet. But I just found out that you can order adapters for these to be used on Canon mirrorless cameras, which is what I use now. And so we're waiting for that to show up in the mail, which should be today, and then we're gonna try this thing out and see what it looks like. I'm not expecting a lot because it's a 55-year-old lens, but you just never know what you're gonna get. This is in great condition, like I said. Everything seems to be working flawlessly on it. All the things spin like they're supposed to, and the aperture blade opens and closes like you would expect it to. Let me show you that. Well, I have it in auto, don't I? Yeah, so that's why the blades is spinning. Okay, so now if I do the aperture, it should get smaller. There you go. Now you can see that happening. I'm trying to look in the GoPro at the same time as I'm doing this, and that's not as easy as it sounds. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Now you can see. So you can see that the higher the aperture value, the more closed off the aperture blades become. So everything works as expected, and we're going to see what this looks like, hopefully in a little while. More to come.
It is here.
Okay, the adapter has arrived. Just got it in UPS, and the adapter is for the EOS R, which is my camera. It is a solid adapter. I don't see any seams or anything. This is like it's carved out of one solid piece of metal, and it is just as solid as this old lens. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these. And we are all set. So you can see I have it locked again, and I do that on purpose so that I don't accidentally change the aperture while I'm shooting. But now that it's in place, you can see that everything's in work. Everything's working. So now we're going to attach it to the camera. Take off the lens cap. And we're going to bring it over here. And it snaps on there pretty good. Oh, it looks sharp on there too. Pardon my greasy fingerprints. And now I'm going to take a couple test shots at f1.8 and at f2.8 and at f4, and we're going to see how it looks. I'm just going to do a control test here in the office and see how it comes out. So here's 3 images I took, and the first one is at f1.8, and it's not easy. I had to set it at 125 minimum of shutter speed just so that I could avoid the camera shake. Of course, there's no image stabilization on such an old lens, and there's no in-body stabilization on this model. So the stabilization is how much I can hold it still. And then I set the first shot at f1.8 at ISO 400 with my studio lights here. And then I set it at f2.8 at ISO 800, and then at f4 ISO 1600. And I'm going to flip back and forth, and you can see the bokeh difference between all three, and it's pretty impressive. it's sharper than I thought, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of chromatic aberrations, which I was expecting to see a ton. But this looks pretty good to me, so I'm pretty impressed. As I take more sample pictures, I'll post those individually. But pretty impressed for a vintage lens. It's a lot of fun, and it's really nice to have one that's as old as I am for just keepsake. So more to come.